After 60, every bite matters more than ever. There are meats that, even in small portions, act like slow poison, corroding blood vessels, fueling inflammation, and accelerating cellular aging. The scariest part? Many of them are precisely those that most people believe are fortifying and essential for maintaining strength. As we age, our metabolism changes. Our ability to neutralize toxins decreases, tissue repair slows down, and any mild inflammation can become chronic. It is in this scenario that certain cuts and types of meat go from being food to a threat, without changing their taste, color, or aroma, which is why they are so treacherous. Studies confirm that some farming and processing methods leave chemical residues, oxidized fats, and additives that accumulate in the body. The result may be silent at first: more fatigue, persistent pain, difficulty concentrating, unstable blood pressure. But over time, this opens the door to heart disease, cognitive decline, and serious metabolic problems. But there is another possible reality. Clean, nutritious meat from good sources can strengthen muscles, preserve memory, protect the heart, and even help reduce inflammation. The difference between food that accelerates disease and food that prolongs life lies in the choices you make and the information you have at your table. You are about to discover which meats are silently shortening your life, and which ones can be your shield against premature aging. If this message has already raised a red flag for you, click the like button. That way, more people will have access to information that can save years of health. By the age of 60, the body has already undergone millions of cycles of repair, fighting infections, digestion, and cell renewal. But at this stage, the efficiency of these functions begins to change. Natural defenses such as the immune system, the gut microbiome, and antioxidant capacity work more slowly, leaving the body more vulnerable to minor daily aggressions. Protein digestion, for example, is no longer as fast as it was in youth. Enzymes work less vigorously, and the liver and kidneys need to deal with metabolic byproducts more carefully. This means that any excess saturated fat, salt, or toxins present in certain types of meat have a much greater impact. And there is another little discussed detail: silent inflammation. It is like a constant ember inside the body, consuming energy and accelerating tissue degeneration from the skin to the brain. This inflammation can be amplified by processed meats, chemical additives, and cooking methods that generate harmful compounds. But it's not all bad news. The body still has an incredible ability to regenerate when it receives the right nutrients and avoids invisible aggressors. This is where the choice of meat, the type, origin, and even the way it is prepared, can be decisive in determining whether you are feeding inflammation or strengthening your defenses. And that's exactly where the first villain on this list comes in, one that many consider a symbol of energy and flavor, but which actually acts as fuel for silent diseases. It's on breakfast tables, in quick snacks, in recipes that whet your appetite just by their smell. It's bacon and its close relatives, such as sausages and hot dogs. For many, it's an irresistible pleasure. For the body, especially after age 60, it can be a slow and steady blow. What makes them so dangerous is not just the saturated fat, but the whole package: nitrites, nitrates, and other preservatives used to maintain vibrant color and extend shelf life. When heated and metabolized, these compounds can turn into highly reactive substances capable of damaging DNA and causing systemic inflammation. Research shows that frequent consumption of processed meats increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, colorectal cancer, and even cognitive decline. And the impact is cumulative. Small amounts every day over the years can be just as harmful as occasional binges. In addition, these products are often high in sodium, which can strain the kidneys and raise blood pressure. For those who already have stiff arteries or a history of high blood pressure, every slice of bacon could be pushing the body a little further in the wrong direction. What's most concerning is that this villainous meat is often accompanied by seductive marketing, images of crispiness, smoky aroma, and a feeling of coziness. But behind this appeal lies a silent enemy of longevity. And the next type of meat is even more treacherous because it doesn't look processed, but the way it's produced changes everything it represents for your health. For decades, it has been a symbol of vigor and power. A juicy cut of red meat, grilled to perfection, seemed like the perfect choice for maintaining muscle and energy. But after age 60, this table classic can become a silent burden on the body, especially when it comes to intensively produced, low-quality meat. The problem begins long before the food reaches the plate. Animals raised in confinement, fed diets rich in processed grains and exposed to antibiotics, develop a profile of saturated and inflammatory fat. When this meat is consumed frequently, it increases the presence of oxidized LDL cholesterol, one of the main factors in the formation of plaque in the arteries. In addition, high-temperature cooking methods such as grilling and frying produce toxic compounds called heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These molecules, when they accumulate, can damage cells and promote mutations that pave the way for serious diseases. For those who already have slower circulation, less flexible arteries, and organs working more cautiously, each meal rich in this type of meat is like adding more weight to a structure that is already under pressure. The trap is that red meat itself is not necessarily the villain, but rather the way it is produced, stored, and prepared. And this difference is rarely explained in conversations about health, leaving many people believing that the more, the better. And if this meat can still be confusing, the next one on the list is a champion in this regard. It has a reputation for being light and healthy, but it can carry an invisible burden that sabotages your well-being day after day. It tops the list when it comes to lean meat, which is why many people put it on their plates almost every day, believing they are making the best choice. We are talking about industrial chicken raised on a large scale, with accelerated fattening cycles and a controlled diet to increase weight in the shortest possible time. What makes it problematic is not the meat itself, but everything that comes with it. To prevent disease in overcrowded environments, many birds are given antibiotics as a preventive measure. In the long term, these residues can impact the gut microbiota, weakening immunity and increasing the predisposition to chronic inflammation. In addition, the nutritional composition of industrialized chicken is different from that of naturally raised poultry. The balance between good and bad fats changes, and the density of essential nutrients, such as zinc and selenium, tends to be lower. Another critical point is the skin and fat, which can accumulate environmental toxins and processing residues.
For those who already have a more sensitive digestive system and slower metabolism, this represents an additional challenge for the liver and kidneys. The illusion of lightness is what makes this meat a true dietary chameleon. Its texture, neutral flavor, and versatility in recipes hide an impact that only appears over time, through persistent pain, fatigue, and abnormal test results. But there is a meat that surpasses even this in terms of invisible danger. It is the champion in overloading the body with sodium and additives, and, unfortunately, it is present in the dishes of many families almost every day. It is practical, tasty, and seems to solve any meal in a few minutes. But for those over 60, it can be a silent invitation to high blood pressure, fluid retention, and kidney damage. We're talking about industrially smoked, cured, and salted meats, such as ham, turkey breast, salami, and processed beef jerky. The main problem is excess sodium. While young bodies can balance this mineral more easily, after age 60, the kidneys work less efficiently, and the impact on blood pressure becomes faster and more intense. A single serving can contain the recommended daily amount of salt, and may also contain preservatives such as sodium nitrite, which in excess is linked to cell damage and an increased risk of gastric cancer. In addition, the industrial smoking process can generate chemical compounds that accumulate in tissues, especially when consumption is frequent. Combined with a high sodium content, they overload the cardiovascular system and promote constant internal inflammation. The biggest danger is that many of these meats carry the reputation of being healthier because they are lean or have less apparent fat. But the absence of visible fat does not eliminate the invisible risks they carry. The good news? There are meats that do exactly the opposite. They nourish, strengthen, and protect. These are choices that can restore vitality and help repair damage accumulated over the years. And this is precisely where our journey takes a turn. We will discover which meats are powerful allies in building a more resilient body, even after age 60. If so far we have talked about choices that drain energy and silently erode health, it is time to shift the focus to those that do exactly the opposite. There are meats that can reduce inflammation, support brain function, protect the heart, and strengthen muscles and joints. They act as clean fuel for a body that has already gone through 6 or more decades of continuous work. The difference lies in the origin, breeding, and nutritional profile. When animals are raised in a natural environment, with a balanced diet and no excessive chemical additives, the meat contains more beneficial fats, bioavailable minerals, and high-quality proteins. These nutrients not only sustain the physical structure, but also help repair microscopic damage that accumulates over the years. In addition, some of these meats are rich in natural anti-inflammatory compounds and antioxidants that act as an internal shield. By including them in your diet, you can strengthen your body's natural defenses, the very ones that tend to weaken with age. The secret is that it's not just about eating meat, but about choosing the kind that works with your body, not against it. And when done consciously, this selection can transform your plate into a kind of natural pharmacy. The first on this list is an old acquaintance, but one that many still underestimate, a food that floats between the sea and the label of superfood and can be a true guardian of the heart. Among all meat options, few have the power to protect the heart and nourish the brain at the same time as omega-3 rich fish. Wild salmon, sardines, mackerel, and anchovies are examples of foods that go far beyond protein. They carry essential fats that reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and keep arteries flexible. The omega-3 found in these fish acts directly to reduce triglycerides and prevent plaque buildup in the arteries. Studies of people over 60 show that regular consumption can reduce the risk of cardiac events and even preserve cognitive function. It's as if every meal with these fish delivers a dose of lubricating oil to the cardiovascular and cerebral systems. Another important point, these fats also regulate the production of inflammatory substances in the body. This means less joint pain, less muscle stiffness, and even more energy for everyday activities. But be careful. The maximum benefit comes from choosing the right fish and preparing it properly. Choose cold water fish from reliable sources and opt for gentle cooking methods, such as steaming or baking, to preserve the beneficial oils. Avoid frying, which oxidizes the fat and negates some of the positive effects. And there is a little-known detail. Combining these fish with antioxidant-rich foods, such as colorful vegetables, enhances their protective action and extends the benefits to the entire body. The next healing meat may not live in the sea, but it is equally valuable for maintaining strong muscles, sharp immunity, and constant energy, especially for those who want to preserve their independence as they age. As we age, maintaining muscle mass is no longer just a matter of aesthetics. It becomes vital for preserving balance, mobility, and independence. And one of the best sources to support this mission is organic, pasture-raised poultry. Unlike intensively produced poultry, these animals grow more slowly, feed on natural grains and insects, and do not receive excessive doses of antibiotics. The result is meat that is richer in high-quality protein, with an amino acid profile that promotes muscle regeneration and bone strengthening. In addition, poultry raised in this way has a higher content of good fats, such as conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which helps regulate body composition and reduce silent inflammation. For those in the 60-plus age group, this combination of nutrients can mean more energy for simple everyday activities and less risk of falls and injuries. Preparation also makes a difference. Grilling lightly, baking in the oven, or cooking slowly preserves more nutrients and prevents the formation of harmful compounds. Avoiding breading and frying is essential to keep the benefits intact. Here's a question for you. What meat appears most often on your plate during the week? And how do you usually prepare it? Share your comments. Your experience may inspire others to make better choices for their health. Now let's learn about a meat that, in addition to being nutritious, can help repair tissues and joints, which is essential for those who want to maintain vitality even after age 60. When it comes to healthy aging, it's not enough to just keep your heart strong or your muscles firm. You also need to take care of your joints, tendons, and even your skin. And one meat that stands out in this role is naturally raised lamb. Raised on pasture, lamb is fed in a way that is closer to what nature intended, resulting in a unique nutrient profile, rich in high-quality protein, zinc, iron, and amino acids essential for collagen production. Collagen is the structural foundation that keeps skin elastic, joints lubricated, and bones strong. In addition, lamb meat from free-range animals has more balanced fats, including small amounts of omega-3, which help reduce inflammation and protect soft tissues.
This combination is especially valuable for those who already experience joint discomfort or want to maintain full mobility. To maximize the benefits, it should be cooked at moderate temperatures to preserve juices and nutrients. Slow-cooked, stewed, and gently roasted dishes are ideal. When combined with vitamin C-rich vegetables such as bell peppers, broccoli, or fresh parsley, the effect on collagen synthesis is enhanced. And we have one last healing meat to reveal, discreet in flavor but powerful in function. It protects your immune system, keeps your mind sharp, and even helps regulate hormones. Among so many protein options, few offer such a complete package of benefits as seafood from safe sources such as oysters, mussels, and scallops. Although discrete on the plate, they are packed with essential minerals such as zinc, selenium, and iodine, which play crucial roles in immunity, cognitive function, and hormone regulation. Zinc, for example, helps the body fight infections and repair tissue, while selenium acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting cells from damage. Iodine is essential for the proper functioning of the thyroid, an organ that regulates metabolism and directly influences energy levels and weight control. In addition, these seafoods are sources of easily digestible protein, perfect for those who no longer metabolize heavier cuts of meat as well. And contrary to what many people think, their mild flavor allows them to be incorporated into a variety of recipes, from fresh salads to nutritious stews. Care must be taken when choosing. Always opt for reliable suppliers and avoid products from polluted areas, thus ensuring clean and safe food. If you know someone who is always looking for ways to improve their health, protect their heart, and keep their mind active, share this content now. A simple gesture can be the bridge for that person to discover choices that transform aging into a lighter process full of vitality. And to wrap things up, let's recap the meats that should be left off the plate and those that deserve a place of honor, so that every meal is an opportunity to live longer and better. Throughout this journey, we have seen how meat can be both a silent poison and a powerful medicine. The villains, bacon and processed meats, intensively farmed red meat, industrial chicken, and sodium-laden smoked meats erode the body's defenses, inflame tissues, and accelerate the natural wear and tear of aging. The healers omega-3 rich fish, organic pasture-raised poultry, naturally raised lamb, and clean seafood nourish muscles, protect the heart, preserve the mind, and sustain vitality. At age 60 and beyond, every food choice is an investment in tomorrow. It's deciding whether your next decades will be marked by energy, mobility, and independence, or by limitations that could have been avoided. And that decision happens every day, on your plate. It's not about following a restrictive diet, but about making smart choices. Swap meat that sabotages you for food that strengthens you. Replace risk with benefit. And above all, remember that it's never too late to change course. Whether it's tomorrow's first meal or tonight's dinner, you have the power to turn what you eat into an ally for your body. This is one of the simplest and most effective ways to prolong your life with quality. If this content has opened up new ways for you to take care of your health, sign up now. Here, you'll find more practical, science-based guidance for living longer, living better, and living independently. Because healthy aging isn't luck, it's a choice.